All right, we're hanging with Bill Burr today. Don't forget to watch Bill Burr on HBO tomorrow night at midnight. This half-hour comedy special airs. And if you got HBO on demand like me, you get to watch it whenever the hell you want.
That's right. Go hang out at a friend's house or kill your best friend who has HBO. Steal his cable.
You hear about this story?
I just did.
Animals.
Anthony has all the details. I was just going to read the story, but...
yeah, if you just want the details.
Well, I'll do the first paragraph, and then you can fill in the blanks, okay? Long Island sex den shocker killed for his house. A 20-year-old... Wow, he was an orphan, too?
Yeah.
A 20-year-old orphan who was living alone in his dead mom's Long Island home was murdered.
Murder.
By his two best friends because they wanted to use the house as a sex den to sleep with their girlfriends, police said yesterday.
Sex den. I don't know why they're bringing the sex angle into the story. It's the press. They got to make it sound,
sexier.
Even worse than it is. But it just seems like these guys, well, they were friends of this guy. There's two guys, and they were friends with the third guy, the orphan. He'd inherited this house from his mom, who had died 5 years earlier. And so he's kind of a young guy. I guess he's 20, 21, and he's got a house.
Wait, Michael Moore's dead?
That's what it says.
Michael Moore's dead?
I think it's a different one.
What are the liberals going to do?
I don't know, but it might be a different one.
Oh, it's a different one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't think Michael Moore's living in Freeport.
Sorry.
And so he's like 21 years old. He's got his own house, his own car. From what I read in there, a plasma TV. So he had a few bucks.
A lot of nice things to touch.
Some nice things. Just let them touch it. Let them just touch the kayak. Shut up.
That's slamming into the wall trying to figure out how to go through a wall.
Kayak.
How many times would you have to slam a kayak into a wall before it would give?
You need some sort of motor.
Yeah, you need a motorized kayak, and then at that point I don't think it's a kayak anymore.
Maybe like 4 Samoans.
Do you back up the kayak like 20 feet and then paddle real fast? Here it goes.
Dunk.
Oh, man, and then you back up again.
You got to paddle harder. Paddle your kayak. Moron.
Do you jump forward in the kayak just at the last second to give it that last oomph? Does that help at all? Who knows? What a dummy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Anthony.
That's all right. So this guy had a few items, possessions, and a house. And he had these two other guys as friends. They were friends. Used to come over to the house, hang out with them. And then one day they got a brilliant idea because these two gentlemen that committed the murder had girlfriends that they couldn't sleep with, I guess, because they lived with their parents. You can't bring the girl home because your parents will be angry with you. So they came up with a great plan, just an airtight plan here, going to work very well. Kill your friend, put him in the basement, and you just move into his house.
Can I ask you guys something? We've all had friends.
Uh-huh.
What's the worst thing your friends have ever done to you? Maybe write dick on your forehead because you had too much to drink one night.
When you're sleeping, partying a little bit too much.
Shave off an eyebrow.
Right.
Shaved off an eyebrow, maybe.
Something like that. Good. Do the old gag with the warm water. Put your hand in there so you pee yourself.
I think I once had, like shaving cream in my hand, and they
itched
my
tap
face
you?
while I was asleep, and I splat.
When you go to scratch,
face.
yeah, you get shaving cream on your face. That's probably it.
That's probably the worst your friends have done to you, right?
But these friends are a little different.
They sure are.
Well, but they probably approached him with the idea, can we use your house as a sex den? And when he said no, evidently these guys had a zero tolerance on cock blocking. And they rubbed him out.
You think he was like a dick friend?
I would think that they would have approached him.
You think it just doesn't go...
Can I fuck my girl on your couch?
Yeah.
No. You sure about that? I want you to really think about your answer here. Because the consequences.
Yeah, you better.
Put it this way. I'm fucking the girl on the couch.
Yeah, regardless.
You're either going to be here or not.
So they
killed him. Right. They probably didn't just go, hey, let's kill the guy. It was probably ask him.
But then they kill him and they just leave him in the basement. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't do anything.
No, the second you start wheeling that body around, now you got a problem. See, they were thinking ahead. So they put him down in the basement. And they had parties and sex with the girls and everything like that and moved into his place. Used his car.
I'm sure that's good for the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
While the dead body's just kind of sitting there with its mouth open downstairs.
It creep you out a little bit.
creep you out a little bit, but I think you barrel ahead.
Their whole plan was like the first draft of a bad movie script. There's like 200 holes in it, but they didn't fix it. They
you
just
don't think that far ahead.
Yeah, they went with the first draft.
You got a great first scene.
How long does it take for a body to really start smelling?
Start smelling? A couple of days.
A couple of days you got?
Yeah, a couple of days it's over, Johnny.
So the first 2 days...
Summer months? Come on, man.
But the first 2 days you're sitting there like, look what we got. This is cool. No one's going to know.
Is there any regret, though, after... Like, all right, you kill them. You immediately call the girls. They come over. Now you're banging. You shoot. You're laying there, relaxed. Do you think then it creeps in like... Holy shit, we killed our friend.
Yes.
It's gotta be trouble.
That's like when you hook up with some girl you shouldn't be fucking. Right as you start to come, you're thinking, oh, fuck, what did I do? That's what they were thinking. Why did we kill him? Could have just knocked him out. Get an assault charge?
Yeah.
Could have tied him up for a couple of days. And
I always thought
fed him some food.
The crackhead... You always read every so often the crackhead that killed his grandma to get the money to buy the crack. Yeah. He smokes the crack. He's feeling all good. You think right when you start coming down, you're like, I killed Grandma.
Yeah.
God damn, why did I kill Grandma?
I think I might have a problem.
Yeah, you got to start thinking.
I better smoke some more crack so I don't start
you need some more crack.
Thinking this.
Right.
So,
and these guys must have, gotten done with their first party after killing the guy.
So far, so good.
But then they continued. They used his car. One of the neighbors, kind of creepy.
His Lincoln Continental.
Yeah, he had a Lincoln Continental with all tinted windows. And some of the neighbors said, wow, I was waving at the car as it was driving by thinking it was the neighbor who was already dead. And they were waving at the guys that had killed their neighbor. And they were using the car, driving around, picking the girls up, partying.
Sex plan is... Go ahead.
Sex den just sounds so seedy.
Yeah. It wasn't really... I don't think it was so much sex den as... Sex den sounds like they're bringing prostitutes in, using it for a business, different girls. They were guys that want to have sex with their girlfriends. A sex den.
And it sounded like a good plan for the first 2 days.
Guy had a house, had some nice things.
What happened after the 2 days?
They stole a few items, too, stereos, and sold them.
Mm-hmm.
Made a little cake. And then, I guess during one of these parties, they noticed it started to stink in the house. Their friend was rotting. And they had to do something about it, so it said they put him in bags, pluralized.
Plastic bags, and dumped it into the East River, it was discovered in the Bronx 12 days after the slaying.
12 days.
They found the torso.
The torso. Now, maybe they just used numerous bags to cover the one body, instead of hacking them up and putting them in different bags and then throwing it. Regardless, the cops identified the guy. They figured out who it was. So they go to the guy's house, start talking to the neighbors. The neighbors are like, wow, he's dead. I didn't know, because there are people coming and going from his house. As a matter of fact, they're still living there. So
there's one sitting on the front porch reading the paper
right now,
without a worry in the world.
And they arrested these two. I can't imagine what the defense is going to be. The defense always comes up with some wacky reason why this happened.
If you're that fucking stupid at any point during your jail sentence, you actually just think of how, you got one life, this is what you did with it.
Yeah. Hey, you have to. They did not think further than a day or two ahead in this whole thing. You don't kill someone premeditated, obviously. Some type of premeditation to their murder. And you go, all right, what happens when people start realizing this guy's missing? What do we do with the body? What happens if it's discovered? What happened? None of that went on. It was like, God damn, I gotta fuck my girl. That's as far as they went.
You gotta think you have to go for a long drive.
Yeah.
You don't just let it sit in the basement for a few days.
Yeah, why?
You would think that's all planned out ahead of time.
Usually you leave the scene of the crime. You don't move into it.
Move in right there, the scene of the murder. The first place they're going to go.
Outline of the body, and you're 2 feet away in a lazy boy with your feet up.
Yeah. Oh, no, you look around. That's all right. I'm just watching the plasma TV.
Yeah.
You look whatever you want. Where is he? I don't know.
Unbelievable.
Didn't think at all. And the body, you dump the body in the river, it's coming back. It's coming back.
No, you have to fuck up the torso.
You think that's how you do it?
There's bacteria in the intestines.
Yeah.
That after you die, somehow it turns into gases.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they always say police found a headless torso.
Right.
So you remember that book, The Westies, I told you to read? That's what they used to do.
It.
Yeah, they used to.
I'm sorry.
They used to chop the whole thing up.
Chop it up.
So anybody thinking about that, that's what you want to do.
I'm reading another book called Rats.
They had the car, though. Rats.
Yeah. Go ahead, Anthony.
What you do, why not put the body in the trunk and you take them somewhere like real...
Why not get a fucking motel for like $28?
There you go.
I'm thinking of, after they've done this.
Huh?
Not beforehand while you're actually thinking and going, why don't I just, get a few bucks, get a hotel room.
Banger in your car.
Banger, right. Yeah, anything but killing your friend. Anything else but that. I'm just thinking afterwards. They never go far away enough. Why not? Obviously, they're not working. Put them in the car. Drive to Washington State. Go into the woods and bury him somewhere. What's wrong with that? By the time they find him, figure out who, where, what.
I would just get in the car and drive for 12 hours in one direction. Just 12 hours.
12 hours?
And when the 12 hours is up, good enough. Find a spot.
Secluded place.
Dig a nice hole, dump it, and then drive the 12 hours back, and I can still go to work the next day.
They'd find something. They'd find the texture of the dirt.
Don't they always?
The grooves of your tires.
In the tire.
I always get irritated when I watch that. Like... It's almost like it's not even fair at this point.
Right. The cop will dig a piece of dirt out, send it to the lab, and bing, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh yeah,
pops up. This dirt is they only have it in Tulsa. They know exactly where it came from.
You make a good point. The cops at this point have the upper hand.
Oh,
they really
always.
Do. You can't get away with this stuff anymore.
Find out
you ever
that
seen one where the guy
hair?
suffocated the girl with the garbage bag, and somehow they saw the imprint of her
like the
face.
Shroud of Turin. Of her face right there on the bag, the plastic.
Yeah. He tells that story in prison, and I bet they're riveted.
Yeah.
Like
get the fuck out of here!
The best
they caught me murder in progress. And your shit is just like, 12 years! This fucking person is dead. One of their fillings fell out. And some guy with a fucking crumb brush in my backyard found it in between some blades of grass. Now I got to go to jail, worry about getting raped every day. I mean, what?
You had it knocked. After 12 years, you got to think, God damn, did I get away with this shit?
Yeah, my house isn't haunted. Nothing came back from the grave.
Right.
I'm in the clear.
Haven't had a visit from a cop, nothing.
It's just not fair anymore.
And then, police department, what the fuck happened? Yeah.
I love it, though. Right, when they just find one stupid, pinky bone. And
anything.
They know the race, the age. How the
It's amazing. Yeah. It's those CSI shows.
I watch those all the time, and guaranteed about 48 minutes in, I go, you gotta be fucking kidding me. He had the perfect crime, or did he?
Yeah.
How'd the body beyond the grave solve this murder case?
The dead speak.
Yeah, how the body talks beyond the grave, right?
I watch all those shows on A&E, the real ones. Like, not the CSI or the fake ones like that, but the real ones on A&E.
Oh, yeah.
With that guy, what's his name?
The creepy guy.
Bill Curtis.
Oh, Bill Curtis.
I'm Bill Curtis.
Well, is he creepy, or is it the piano in the background?
Bill Curtis has just that creepy voice.
Bill Curtis is really creepy. A body of a girl found on the side of the road, raped and decapitated. The police went to work. And then the case goes, 12, 15 years. And then there's always... But one cop wouldn't let it go. Yeah. He digs into this closet, picks this lucky box to pull this, cold case down. And there's the guy that thought he got away with it because one prick can't fucking just go home to his family one night. Late one night, he decided to go into the cold case closet. Motherfucker. Go home to your family, you cop.
Finds DNA in a toothbrush from 1972. Right. One bristle. It's a perfect match.
Yeah. When the crime happened, they didn't have this type of testing. Great, thanks.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the most fucked up thing.
Yeah, we got to worry about what they're going to invent in the future.
You have all bases covered for right now.
Yep.
Then in 2026, you get the knock on the door.
Right.
They'll let you know you'll be being raped.
They work it out.
For your final 25 years.
You're an old guy, yeah.
That's the only good thing about that story. I mean, as far as, I always put myself in the position of going to jail. Looking at those two guys' headshots, they will not be getting raped. They will be the rapers.
There's 2 more rapists in prison.
Their necks are too wide. You couldn't hold them down.
No way.
Let's go to Utah with that. Ivan.
Hey, how's it going, boys?
Hey, man.
Hey, does this story mention which racial origins these two guys killed?
I believe all three of them involved in this crime, the perpetrators and the victim, were black gentlemen from Freeport, Long Island.
But it's kind of it leans toward a freaky crime, so I was thinking that it could have been white dudes.
No, it would have to be devil worship related.
Yeah, this was just blunt force.
Was
violence.
it obvious that it was black guys, you think?
Yeah.
Because us whiteys, we pulled the weird crimes.
This is definitely has black guy written all over it. If it's white, like in Northport, you get a very white neighborhood, and one kid was killed by his friends, and that turned out to be Satan worship. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, whenever it's Satan worship, you won't find a black guy around. It's always white guys. Something like this, though, where you just want to break in, maybe steal some stereo equipment, live in the guy's house, use his car.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about black people. Like, they can ride the subway at 4 in the morning and totally relax, but you bring up the devil and they freak out.
Yeah, oh, no, I ain't going in.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite with us. We're like sitting around with
painting pentagrams on the floor, drinking whiskey in the woods.
One other thing.
Bunch of creeps.
One other thing as we discuss this topic. The shallow grave.
Yeah.
Enough with the shallow grave.
Put a little effort into it.
That just screams no planning.
Yeah.
Just
no planning. I want to get out of here.
A couple more pushes with the shovel. That's all you have to
do.
Dig a little. You've already committed.
Kill in the summer when the earth is soft.
Right.
And you can go 6 feet under.
The shallow grave is just...
Always ends up a hand poking through a ditch in the ground.
A nosy dog.
Doesn't even refill it.
What is it? Dog. Shallow grave? Leaves?
Yeah. Leaves and a little
like
dirt.
A hole and some leaves. Yeah, and the dog always finds it. Some farmer decides to look at some acreage he had that he hadn't walked on in 50 years.
There has to be... People are doing them right. Because there's a lot of people missing. There's some people,
Obviously, we don't know about the missing ones, but they're missing. But
way
someone's
up in the mountains.
doing it right. Yeah.
They go 7 feet down.
7 feet. No one's digging that deep. No one.
Ooh, crop circles, Bigfoot, and the Loch Ness Monster. UFOs.
That one looks good.
Very cool. Is it real? Monday.
Yeah, we talked about this guy.
On the, what is it, History Channel? Oh, the National Geographic Channel. Okay.
I like that one, too. It's a good channel. Chris from Boston, how cool is that psycho Dr. Michael Baden?
That's
or
the
Baden
guy.
from the forensic guy from HBO.
We talked about him last week, I think,
yeah.
right?
There's a show called Coroner, whatever it is, on HBO, and this guy, what is it called? Autopsy.
Autopsy.
Yeah, Autopsy on HBO, and this guy is a coroner, and he discusses cases that he helped solve after the victims just been cut up, and he's gone through their stomach and their brains, and I remember one case he found. It was I got the murder because the time of death didn't line up with the guy's alibi, because he went into the stomach and found French fries that they had eaten
just fucking
at a restaurant, and they knew exactly what time they had been at the restaurant, and they weren't digested enough for the timeline to have been accurate for the guy that was with the girl.
Jesus, dude.
I'd be the worst defense attorney, because my only response, you gotta be shitting me.
Right. Did this guy ever miss a class in high school and just decide to drink beers with the guys in the parking lot?
They found that the fries had serrations in them from a knife, a serrated knife, and they were still visible in the stomach, which means that, and they know how stomach acid would have dissolved it away and at what rate and how these serrations would have been gone in a certain amount of time, and since they were still there, she was murdered a lot closer to the time of dinner than the guy was saying, and boom, guilty.
And you know how they know all that stuff? I read a book called Stiff. They got death fields somewhere in the middle of the woods.
We heard about the death fields, yeah.
Somewhere in, like, Virginia or somewhere, I don't know. And they have all these scenarios, and they just
take cadavers that give
they just
their,
lay
bodies
dead bodies all over the woods, maybe in a car, to simulate a car crash.
Shallow grave.
Please tell me there's a fence around this area so people aren't just kind of wandering.
You don't just stumble through it. That'll stick with you for a while, I think.
It was the sickest part of this book called Stiff, which was a book all about what they do with dead bodies.
They had one wrapped in a carpet.
Yeah, they all these scenarios, like someone that's wrapped up in a carpet and thrown in the woods, someone that's found in a trunk of a car, someone that is this and that.
It gives them like a
but it's all
base.
the dumb shit that you do after a spontaneous murder.
And they study the bodies and what happens as they rot and stuff, and what bugs appear and this and that.
So if they find a
and they
body
do all their
rotted,
research that way.
They know by the case that they put in that they know how long.
Can you imagine that's your job though, to go into the death field? You open up that gate of these creepy woods, and there's all these dead bodies, some hanging from trees because that's some kind of weird scenario, and this and that, and they go in and study the corpses.
That has to fuck with you.
I don't know how people do that. How do you get that line of work and not just go home every night, wake up in cold sweats with nightmares? I can't watch.
How do you go down that progression? Okay, you take a science class, you take biology.
All right, it's probably the way it starts.
It's kind of interesting.
We all dissected the frog, right?
All right, kind of liking that.
Yeah, like that. How do you end up planting a body in the death
Neighbor's
field?
dog's a little old.
You think you start getting this fascination?
Yeah, and you just kind of maybe, help him along to his final journey.
Maybe do a little Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
Just start moving up a little bit.
I think you're the guy also that helps the neighbors out when one of their animals die. And they go, our cat died or something. They're the first one to go, I'll take care of it for you.
There's got to be a crossroads there when you either pick, I'm causing this or I'm solving it. You either go the serial killer route.
Absolutely. I think there is that crossroad. You can either become the serial killer that's planting the bodies there, or the guy that because there's a fascination. There's got to be a passion and a fascination for dead bodies and working with them.
Yeah.
Whether it's for your own pleasure.
I asked my dad about that shit. He's like in the medical field.
Yeah.
And I said, how does somebody become like a proctologist? Why would you choose that?
Why out of all the places?
And he was just kind of laughing. He's just like, well, you go and you do the cadaver thing and all that. And after a while, I guess the whole thing's kind of disgusting in a way to intrude in a body. And he's like, it's a good paying job. You just start thinking, hey, I'm making strong 6 figures a year.
It's down to the money.
The first time you just poke somebody in the ass, you got to be laughing. I'm just horrified the first time.
You think it's because it is the first time, so you got to be like, here it comes. It's my first time I'm sticking my finger up a guy's ass.
Pull it out. I mean, how do you? There's that third grader in all of us. You're just gonna fucking lose it.
Start laughing.
Hey, Brad, Cleveland, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, man.
Hey, just wanted to check in. When I was a kid, when I grew up in the country, basically, there was a bunch of murders that they had way out in the boonies, and what they were doing was hacking up the bodies and actually feed them to the pigs, because the pigs would eat anything and everything in its sight.
Oh, you're getting your info from the movie Snatch, aren't you?
And from from Deadwood.
No.
Oh, Deadwood did that whole thing,
Yeah,
too?
they do. They feed him to the pig thing.
We got to get that clip from Snatch, how he explains how to get rid of a body by using pigs. It's deeply, deeply disturbing. Let's go to Tom in New Hampshire. Tom, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, hi. How you doing, boys?
All right.
Hi, Jimmy replacement.
That's hilarious.
During your last break, I switched over to Imus, and one of the callers was trying to get him to say that his favorite station was The Fan.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, no, my favorite station's Opie and Anthony on 202 on XM.
Bravo.
Hey, there you go.
This guy, he's just a great friend in the business, helping us out.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I heard Don Imus went and visited the body farm, and they tried to plant him. They assumed mistaken identity.
Dan in Raleigh, what's up?
Hey, man, that guy just stole my thunder. I'm an Imus listener, too, and I was going to tell you the same thing.
Hey, does anyone listen to our show while we're doing our show? I mean...
They got to keep an ear open for everybody else.
Well, that's the beauty of the replays. You can
Don
listen to a
Imus
bunch
really
of
could
things.
just work in a haunted house, like no makeup.
Boo.
Yeah. Big stupid cowboy hat like he's a
got
rebel.
His cowboy hat.
Fucking 78 years old.
Jack in Manchester. What's up, Jack?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
When I was a kid, there was this kid named Shane Tetz. He was like on my school bus. He used to babysit me and shit. He lived right behind me. He took a bunch of acid and killed his pregnant girlfriend, like took a revolver, shot her 6 times, reloaded it, shot another 3. Wow. Wrapped her up in an old Oriental rug, buried her in the wine cellar. Wrote a whole note to the parents. I'm missing her. I don't know where she went and stuff like that. Bought a bus ticket. Did the whole thing. Got caught because his brother's dog was digging at the dirt in the wine cellar. So that's how he ended up getting caught. Goes to jail, and ended up becoming somebody's bitch and overdosed on heroin like 2 years ago.
Wow. See,
Good story.
At that point, you got to kill your pets and stuff because they know a little more than us.
They love rolling around in that dead meat.
Exactly.
They're going to rat you out.
Their senses are a little stronger than ours.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, you got to kill your dog if you're going to bury a body in your house.
You don't bury it in your house.
Not in your house. Those are real nuts that want them close to them, I think.
Ugh.
Like John Wayne Gacy, putting all of them down in his crawl space, and he'd have lime down there and dig the holes, bury him, and then put lime over them. And
how do you sleep at night?
But it was part of it. He loved having the bodies that close to him. It was like he was a collector. So
I think he's the creepiest out of all of them.
Yeah, clown. He was like a party clown. Here's all the features.
What was
of
going
a
on in the
complete
70s when you could fucking drive around dressed as a clown in a van and nobody is
With
looking
the dead body
at
in
you?
the trunk and
no one's
looking
into your background.
Well, the drugs were a lot better back then.
Yeah.
Let's go to Tennessee. Ben, what's up?
Hey, man. You guys are great, by the way. Been loving you for about 6 months now.
And we care why?
I was a coroner up in Virginia, and they brought me a hand. Well, they called me at 2 in the morning and said, we got a hand we need you to look at. And it ended up being like a child's hand, but we investigated further, and it ended up being a bear paw, and just kind of screwed everybody up for a while. They started the manhunt. It was pretty interesting.
They mistook a bear paw for a hand.
Yeah, it's easy to confuse. We did X-rays, and it didn't quite look right, and then we called the chief
Gave it away the
pathologist.
fur.
I got a similar story. When I was living out there in Huntington, my landlord was digging up the front yard. No, digging up the porch. That's right, because part of the porch in the front of the house was rotting. Mm-hmm. So he was going to redo the porch, and he's digging up, I guess, to get some studs in the ground or whatever. And all of a sudden he found some bones, and they looked like human bones.
Were they big? Yeah.
Yeah, and they looked like they could be bones from like a child.
Oh.
So he was ex-NYPD, and he works for the fire department and all that. So he thought, I better do the right thing. So he calls the cops. They completely took over the house, yellow taped the whole area.
That's great for the neighbors.
Oh yeah,
Cops seeing that going on.
Cops everywhere. I come home, because I'm renting from this guy. All the cops that are there are fans of the show. So now they're starting to think crazy shit in their heads. Like, I knew he was a wacko on the air, but wait a minute, what's going on here? And they kind of hinting like, you might want to stay close, because they really don't know what the hell's going on. It's so early in the investigation. I'm like, what? So we had to wait around all day. I don't know, like 4 to 6 hours, let's say, and they finally came back from the lab saying, all right, and it was like a pig or pig bones or
orangutan,
or I forgot exactly.
Honestly,
I forget now. I don't remember exactly what the bones. It was some animal, that the bones were under the porch for whatever reason.
That's odd.
But for an afternoon, it was all
still something goes. Something
the yellow
sort of
tape
ritual.
Yeah, definitely something strange there.
Unless
somebody got drunk and planned on doing one of those pig pit barbecues and forgot about it, burying them under the ground with the coals and then forgot.
But for an afternoon, it was
pig picking.
Yeah,
that's what it's called.
A lot of
pig
excitement.
Picking.
Let's say hi to Dave in Tennessee. Dave.
Hey, good morning, guys.
All right, what's up?
I had read a book on that body farm. It's just outside Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, there's one in Knoxville, Tennessee? Okay.
Yeah, and I guess it was started on a university over there, and they bring, like, coroner students in from all across the country, and it's just like you were saying. This is what it's a plastic bag after 5 days. There's going to be this kind of bug on it. I mean, it is amazing.
Yeah, they have all scenarios, people that are, like, wrapped up in, exactly, garbage bags and rugs and trunks.
I don't know if I want to live next door to that, though, man. I guess they have 50 to 100 bodies at any given time.
Yeah, just rotting away.
After you do it, there's no way to watch a horror movie and even be remotely scared at that point.
Mm.
You're just so clinically looking at
the
makeup. Oh, yeah, it's like a trunk. 7 days in the sun in July.
I can't even watch some of those scary movie trailers anymore at night. They've gotten really creepy.
They've gotten very real.
They've gotten just creepy, where I can't take the surprise out of nowhere shot. Like they show some guy, and he's sitting on a couch or something, and he bends over to grab something, and the camera follows him as he grabs it. When he leans back, there's someone sitting next to him out of nowhere. That shit kills me. I cannot watch it. I avert my eyes from the television like a pussy.
Yeah, horror movies are back. They sucked in the 80s.
Yeah, they turned into just the slasher things I could watch. So who cares? You know, like Jason and those things. Not scary. But the ones that are like the creepy, distorted faces and little children are always creepy in movies.
Oh, yeah.
And they've made a big comeback in movies now.
Creepy children?
Ever since The Shining with those two twin girls in the hallway. Just creepy. And now they put kids in movies all the time. You hear the little... Oh, get me out of here. I'm not watching.
Did you like Blair Witch? A lot of people are like, that's
yeah, I thought it was pretty creepy.
I went to that by myself. I was living in L.A.
Yeah.
Saw the 12:30 show after I worked at the lap
no,
there. Oh, my God. That last shot with the dude standing in the fucking corner.
That's what got me.
Then I walked out to the through the parking garage by myself.
Whoa.
Freaked the fuck out.
I can't take stuff like that. Some people say that sucked. It was not, and other people, scariest thing they ever saw.
Yeah, a lot of people saw
creepy.
Blair Witch. I was laughing the whole time. Well, that was fucking lame. I bought it from the second it was on.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of those movies you had to get in early, you know.
Yeah,
you had to watch it early before everyone started really talking about it. Same with like Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense was creepy as all hell too. That chick puking and the friggin' underneath and his little fort thing when he runs in it and there's people out there and the mother in the kitchen and just creepy shit.
Usually I see the endings of movies coming like no problem. That was one of the only movies where I actually stood up in the theater when they had the twist at the end, and I actually stood up and went, no fucking way. I just lost my mind. Like, they fucking tricked us. And it was a full theater, but I was just taken by, what they did. It was the only time I got out of my seat and actually said something in a movie theater.
The Ring?
The Ring, yeah.
That was
I saw
really
that in
creepy,
Peoria,
man.
Illinois, with this comic, Pete Holmes. We walk in, I swear to God, we saw like the 2 o'clock show on like a fucking Wednesday. We were the only two people in there, and both of us are trying to act like we're not freaked out by this. The first time when that girl was in the closet and her head comes over and her jaw drops, I was like,
man. I saw her face. I couldn't take it.
Plus, I also think women being the murderer is way more scary.
Creepier.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, and that whole weird video that they played with the woman in the mirror brushing her hair, just that shit alone creeps me out.
Oh,
so much I can't. Ugh.
Going down in the well in that fucking water, I can't tell.
Yeah, creepy.
Hey, let's all the instant messages that this guy's a pussy.
Oh, of course, yeah, real men on the instant feedback. Hey, pussy, shut up, I'm scared.
Let's take another call and then we'll move on to other things. Gary, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey.
Actually, I go to the University of Tennessee, and I was actually able to go to the body farm.
You went to one of these body farms?
Yes, it was amazing.
Good time?
The one in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild. There's probably 30 to 40 bodies in different stages of decomposition. It was very amazing.
Wow.
Thanks, guys.
Sir?
Gary?
Sir?
Yes.
Your call stinks.
Is your brain decomposing in front of our eyes? Like you're losing your mind here.
It's like you've been to
nervous?
someplace unbelievably interesting, and you're not giving us any details. You're just going, we went there, and it was amazing. So what happened? It was wild.
Walking on campus, sorry.
If we had a whole show of callers like this, we would have no audience. You understand that, right?
Yes.
All right. He's probably just a little nervous.
Someone on instant feedback here.
Goes, yes, yeah, I understand. I suck. That's like I just like dealing with dead bodies. They don't hurt me the way you guys just did.
I could finally relate to your show, so I figured I'd better call.
I think better of it. Ant, the creepiest trailer ever, and I agree with this. This was really bad. Was the girl from The Exorcist crawling down the stairs backwards on her hands and feet? Remember, she was doing kind of a upside down crab walk, but her head was turned the other way and. Like, any time a body gets distorted like that, I can't watch it. Creeps me out.
And this is the caller describing that. Yeah, it was it's amazing.
It's real scary.
That's a good one, Ed.
Creepy.
Read that one.
42nd Street, Matt. Hey, guys, when I was 7 years old, my older cousin told my mom they were taking me to see Tron. Remember the movie Tron? Instead, I was treated to a viewing of Poltergeist. Holy shit, I'm fucking 7 years old. I lost it when the guy tore his face off. Nightmares for weeks. Absolutely. That movie, for the time, now it's a little dated. You watch it, and you're like, meh, looks a little
I
cheesy.
don't know, man. That midget lady's still creepy as shit.
This house is clean.
She is creepy.
Walk toward the light.
I told you that story, though. When I was a kid, my parents decided to take me. I guess they didn't want to spring for a babysitter that night. Took me to see Bonnie and Clyde. Now,
It's not a scary movie.
I'm a little kid. This is like 1969 or something. I was a little tot. What were you laughing?
Well, because you know Groucho, so 1969.
I don't know Groucho. I met Groucho once.
By 1969, you had to be at least 17.
My early 20s. I was a tiny kid.
Bill, you're talking to a guy that met Groucho Marx.
I met Groucho.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
We
don't know how old he is.
Oh my God.
We're starting to think he's a vampire or something.
I met Groucho in 1975. He was pretty much on his deathbed.
No, he was working out at fucking Gold's Gym. the original.
Right. It was on the road. Me and Groucho.
We found out the other day that if Groucho was alive, he'd be like 108 or something. And Anthony met him.
He was an old man. He died like...
He ran track with him in high school.
All right, Bonnie and Clyde, 1969. Sure.
Yeah, took me to see Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
And I vomited all over the inside of the car. It was at a drive-in. And I vomited all over the place.